God has exposed some things to me and I cannot keep it to myself. I want to make sure that we can connect because I'm a woman who's been through hell and back and who refuses to let shame write my story no more. Right? Hey, fam, for those who do not know me, I am Neena Perez. I'm a coach, I'm a podcaster, I'm a culinary queen, I'm a speaker, I'm all the things. So if you're here today, it's not by accident because I'm about to tell you something that maybe a lot of people don't touch. And I'm just going to be as vulnerable as possible because my revelation, what I've been going through with God these last few weeks in revelation of the enemy who has groomed me, who's tried to groom me to destroy myself. And I thought that it was just such a powerful revelation to me about the God and the God that I serve and how evil that this world can be and how hurtful. And, I was asking God about some certain patterns that I do that really irritate me. About when I get very, very nervous or successful or excited or angry or whatever, I turn to sabotage it. And when I was a little girl, I mean, just I was asking God to reveal this to me because I was sitting there eating a piece of cake, right? I had just lost like 8 or 9 pounds. I was eating a piece of cake. And I'm like, why am I even doing this to myself? And then I immediately just said, God, come on. Like, why do I keep doing this to myself? Like, I keep self sabotaging and I don't know why I do this. And God takes me to this place when I was a little girl. And I had spoken a little bit about this, but the more I dig in with God about this, the more stuff is being revealed. And I believe it's because it's time for healing. And when I was a little girl, my stepfather started hurting me. And I think I was about 6 years old. And when he started to molest me, I didn't have the words for what he was doing. I just knew that what he was doing was wrong. And I knew that it felt wrong, and I knew that I didn't like it, and I knew that it wasn't appropriate. And, I just didn't have the words for it. And my mother was in a very, scary place, I guess, in herself too, because when I told her, she was very upset and she told me to stop lying. Right. And so I didn't have protection either. And I didn't have a safe space. So I turned to the only thing I think I discovered was the only thing I can turn to, which was sugar, which was food, right? So God, as I'm talking to him about why am I, self sabotaging? Why do I do this? Whatever, God gave me the vision, and I was sitting in my mom's kitchen. And I remember this as a little girl, and the kitchen had a wood table and wood chairs and a yellow walls and all of that. And I'm sitting there as a little girl and I'm trying to soothe my fears. I'm trying to soothe myself and I don't know how to do it, right? So I was sitting there and I just see myself eating spoonfuls of sugar. And I didn't know that then. I mean, now there's been studies that show you that sugar is like a dopamine hit to the brain. And that's where I found comfort, right? And at this moment, it's like God was showing me in a bird's eye view, like of what I was doing, right? I was a little girl and I'm here eating this sugar. And I thought, I don't know why I chose that, but I did. I mean, that was my way of soothing myself as a little girl, right? Being hurt and being traumatized and, being molested by my stepfather, who I thought was like my dad and all those things, right? And this is where I found comfort. And at this moment, it's like God is showing me in this bird's eye view, and he's showing me the enemy laughing over me, saying things like, I have groomed you to destroy yourself. And I keep asking God all the time since that vision, which was about a week ago or so, about the revelation of what is happening. what is going on here? Like, God is just showing me that there is an enemy to our soul, and he is there to make sure that you destroy yourself, right? So I keep asking God for this revelation, and so that I can conceive what is the enemy's intention. Why is this happening, right? And this is the mind-blowing thing that has been revealed to me, is where the enemy is saying, well, if I can't kill her, then I'm going to teach her and groom her to kill herself. I'll make sure that every time that she's in pain, she reaches for what will destroy her slowly, right? And as I'm getting this revelation, I'm just sitting there like in complete, like my mind is melting, right? And the thing that hit my soul is that my whole life I thought I just had a weight problem, that I just need to lose weight. I need to be more disciplined. I need to have, more tenacity. I need to have more grit. But no, y'all, no. I don't just have a weight problem. I have a warfare problem, right? I am fighting something that I have been groomed to do to myself because of what someone did to me when they hurt me, right? And the enemy was very intentional to make sure that I would self sabotage myself. Now, let's be clear. The truth about self sabotage is not that you're lazy, okay? It's not that you're broken. It's not that you're hopeless, okay? You're in a battle that you were never taught to fight. You were never taught to fight this properly, okay? And especially as a child, and I know many of you have gone through a lot of trauma, a lot of PTSD, a lot of things in your life. And many times we are not taught how to fight, okay? Because self sabotage and things that you're doing to hurt yourself is survival mode on repeat, right? We just repeat what we are used to doing to survive, even if it's killing you. As I'm like going through all of this revelation and discovery of all of this, right? And I thought I had this pegged. I thought I knew what I was doing, right? But self sabotage is this survival mode for me on repeat. So even though I've been very successful in a lot of things in my life, when it comes to like my health and weight and like having the finances be steady and all of those things, I sabotage, right? And I realize that it's the repeat mode of surviving. So when I lose the weight, I just have to make sure I go eat all of that sugar, right? To self sabotage what I have already done, right? That worth piece, the repeat piece that makes sure that I survive, even if it's killing me. Because even though the enemy has groomed me to be this way, it is time to take back the strength and everything that the locusts have eaten in my life, and take that back, and have to understand that I am in the middle of a warfare problem, right? So I hope for all of you who are self-sabotaging or going through things, I want it to be super clear that it has nothing to do with you being lazy or broken or hopeless. You are in a battle you were never taught to fight, right? And you are just surviving on this sabotage roller coaster that keeps happening. Shame will have you performing in this place of brokenness, right? It will have you performing I in going through things even though you're feeling like you really can't do it, right? So shame will have you duped. It'll have you duped instead of healing, right? So you can go and post your selfies at the gym and still hate your reflection, y'all. Okay, I did it. I did a whole series of videos and YouTube and all of that. It was called Memoirs of a Fat Girl. Okay. I did the whole thing. I went and did all of these boot camps and everything. And I was working out and eating right and doing the whole thing and everything. And what happened at the end? I still sabotaged my progress. Why? Worthiness. Why? I was groomed to do so and never taught to get out of it. Right? Because it's not a weight problem. It's a worth problem, right? And your body keeps the secrets, your body keeps the story, right? But it doesn't have to carry that shame anymore. You can break from that. I was reading a book recently called The Body Keeps the Score. It's by Bessel van Vanderkolk, I think it's called Vanderkolk by Bessel. But anyway, the book is called The Body Keeps the Score. And I'm telling you, your body carries your story. Your mind, your subconscious mind carries your story, but it doesn't have to carry the shame. It doesn't have to carry the self-sabotage. It doesn't have to carry what you don't want and want there anymore, right? Because like I said, shame will have you performing, right? Even though you think you're healing, but you're living inside of you broken, right? And it is time to break free from that. So here's what I'm learning, what I'm working on with God, and what I want to share with you. Strategies that have helped me are starting to help me really break free. I need you to name the root, right? Ask yourself, ask God, what is happening? What was happening in my life when this habit started, this thing about eating sweets and sugar and self-sabotaging my self-progress and my worth? What is that? Right? And I want to have you, as well as I want you to honor that place. Now, for me, I have to honor that little girl who did what she could to survive. But I'm not her anymore. I'm healing. I'm always on the process of healing. And whatever you've gone through, and I'm sure that you have stories that are deep rooted. I want you to start asking yourself, asking God to reveal to you what was happening in your life when this habit started that's trying to destroy you today, that is killing you slowly today, right? And when God starts to reveal that to you, you start to honor that version of yourself, because you did what you could do to survive, right? As a little girl and having no one protecting me, I did what I did to survive, right? That's what I knew. That's all I knew. And so I did what I knew. But I'm not her anymore. And I'm healing now. And I have the right to take back everything that the enemy has stolen. So I want you to start renewing the lie with truth. To me, scripture is truth. To me, God is truth. Not what the world feeds me, but what God feeds me. And I looked up some scriptures to share with you. Romans 12:2 says, "Do not conform to the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good and pleasing and perfect will." Not what the enemy tried to say to me, like, ha, eat that sugar. That's right. That's what's going to make you feel better. That's how you're going to cope, right? And at 52, I am still learning this revelation and changing those things within me. Don't be conformed to what the world tells you and what the enemy has tried to show you and groomed you to be, but be renewed in your mind. In Isaiah 61:7, it says, "Instead of your shame, you will receive a double portion. And instead of disgrace, you will rejoice in your inheritance. And so you will inherit double portion of your land, and everlasting joy will be yours." Do you understand that? The world may tell you one thing and the enemy tells you another, and you may even be speaking things into your own life that is causing destruction. But instead of your shame, you can receive a double portion. Put God first, look to him, move forward, and understand that you can break free from all of the things that are trying to destroy you. Psalm 139:14 says, I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made, and your works are wonderful. And I know that full well. So know who God is in your life. Understand that you are not in this battle alone. And although the enemy has maybe tried to groom you into hurting yourself, you can take back what is yours. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. Why do you think that he even bothered to groom you and to give you things to help you now self-sabotage and kill yourself slowly? It is time to put a stop to whatever it is you're doing that is hurting yourself, because you have been in a loop of survival, and make sure that you really acknowledge yourself for really trying to survive, because we are innately trying to survive at all times, right? But I will praise you, God, always, because I am fearfully and wonderfully made, and your works are wonderful. And I know that full well. So I want you to start creating a declaration in your life. I'm going to be creating a declaration in mine. My body is no longer the battlefield and no longer something that the enemy can steal from me, but it is a temple of healing. So whatever it is that you're going through, the trauma, whatever that thing is, declare that it is no longer a battlefield for you, but it is where you are going to begin to heal and to grow and do what it is that you have been created to do in this world. So you are going to rewire your mind, okay? We're going to rewire ourselves. Now, when I'm triggered, do I run to food, or do I run to the Father? I need to make a decision. Okay. I need to rewire my comfort zone. Right? My comfort zone is immediate. Go run to ice cream or cake or sugar or whatever's around that's sweet. So whatever I can get to, because I'm bored, I'm hurt, I'm upset, I am not reaching my goals properly. Whatever that thing is my comfort zone, right? Well, that needs to now be rewired. And when I'm triggered and I have to make a decision at that moment, do I run to food? Do I run to the Father? Do you run to drinking? Do you run to the Father? Do you run to drugs? Do you run to the Father? Do you run to pornography? Do you run to the Father? You need to start to replace what you have been using as your survival mode to the Father, and replace with worship, replace with journaling, replace with prayer. But you need to rewire your comfort zone. What is that comfort zone that you have been using that is slowly killing you, that you are afraid to let go? Because what does it look like if you let it go? You know, many years ago, when I was in the victim mentality mode and depression and anxiety and all of those things in my life, I remember the day that I released that to God, and I told him, I will not be depressed anymore. I will not have anxiety anymore. I give you this. I can't no more. I give it to you. And I released it. I fully released it. And I did not know who I was going to be after releasing depression and anxiety and worry and victimhood. And I didn't know who I was going to be anymore. But I had to rewire that comfort, right? And so when you're triggered and you are going through something that is in you, when you're self-sabotaging and you're going through these things, rewire the comfort within you, okay? Don't run to the thing, the alcohol, the food, the whatever the thing is for you. Right? Replace that. Replace that with God. Replace that with worship. Replace that with prayer, with journaling, with walking, with whatever that thing is that you have to do to replace what has been sabotaging you and keeping you in a place of comfort that has been killing you slowly. It is time to release that. It is time to let it go. Start scheduling your healing, y'all. Start scheduling your healing. No matter what people have done to you, no matter what they have done to try to destroy you, no matter what your past says, I need you to start replacing that with other things that are better for you. That comfort zone that is killing you needs to go. Now we're going to rewire our comfort zone and schedule our healing. So daily, I want you to start writing in your journal daily. I want you to start saying, God, speak life into me. Show me where I need to shift and change so that I am not the same person I was yesterday. And whoever hurt me that has caused that pain in my life, that has caused me to then hurt myself. So they started hurting me and then I started hurting me. I might not want to admit it, but every time I do something where I get far enough, I have to self-sabotage because I always have to make sure that that I hurt myself. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy enough. I'm not whatever the enough thing is. So I have daily started doing CEO meetings with God and journaling and this is where this is coming from. This is where this declaration and this revelation is coming from. But I didn't know that the enemy was above me, laughing at me and saying, I am grooming you to destroy yourself. Y'all, we need to take our power back. And you're going to have to start scheduling your healing. And you're going to have to start being very freaking intentional. Start getting movement in your life, right? Track your triggers. Know what the patterns are. And so when you see the pattern, say, you know what, God? Like I seen the pattern that every time I lose a few pounds, I have to go eat sugar. I lose a few pounds, I have to go eat sugar. And I'm keep hurting myself over and over again. Start scheduling your healing. God told me that the enemy tried to groom me so that I can destroy myself. But God is now grooming me to be a chain breaker for every person who has ever listened to me, who feels like they are stuck in a damn loop. I am going to do my best to help you get out of that damn loop. Whatever I could do, little, big, it doesn't matter. Whatever my voice can carry, whatever my voice can give to someone else is what I will do, right? Because we are here to serve others. And it is time for us to start breaking these patterns that are helping you kill yourself. Enough, right? I break every agreement that I've ever had with shame. I break that. I break every agreement that I've ever had with sabotage. I am not who hurt me. I am not what I ate. I am not my weight. I am healed. I am whole. I am being used by God to help myself and help others be set free. I don't know what that all looks like, but here's what I do know. It is time to shift where we have been and renew all the lies into the truth, right? I'm not her anymore. I'm going to honor her. So I pray that even if this hits you a little bit, and if you haven't seen the whole thing, watch it from the beginning, renew your mind, okay? Instead of giving the enemy so much power and strength and authority and just going in this survival loop, instead of your shame, receive your double portion, okay? Receive it because God is good, y'all, okay? So I really hope that you will stop for a second and praise the God of this universe, of your life, of your soul, right? Because he made you fearfully and wonderfully, and he really knows what is good for you. And what the enemy has tried to steal from you, take it back. All of it. He does not have the right anymore to try to destroy your life, and you should not give him the play to do so. All right. So when you're triggered, ask yourself, do I want this thing or do I want God? Do I replace this thing with worship and journaling and prayer, or do I continue to self-sabotage? Do I continue to have imposter syndrome? Do I continue to think that I am not good enough? That is a decision you need to make. And as soon as you make it happen. Start scheduling your healing daily. Start scheduling your healing every week. Start movement. Start whatever you have to do to get yourself moving forward. The enemy stops now. The enemy stops now. The root of that self-sabotaging, of that you not feeling you're good enough or worthy enough or that you are built to last, honey. Yes, you are. And it is time for us to take it back. I am done. Okay? And I want you to be done too. Let's make this day the declaration of moving forward and never letting the enemy destroy us anymore or have us destroy ourselves, because nobody puts the cake in front of me but me. Right? And so I am now taking the baton. So the enemy came and destroyed me and hurt me as a child, right? Being abused, being molested, not being protected as a child. And then what happens? As I'm trying to run this race of survival, I then move back and have the enemy give me the baton so that I can continue running to hurt myself. Y'all, no, I dropped the baton. I no longer run that race. I will run my own race. I will have my own baton, and I will hand freedom to my children and my children's children. But the root needs to go. All right, y'all. I hope that this inspired you, even if it inspired you a little bit. Let me know. I'd love to connect with you, and I'd love to know that you are now taking your own baton and stop carrying what the enemy has tried to train you to do to yourself and to others. I love you guys so much. This is Neena Perez. Straight talk, no sugar added. Until next time.